Thank you, Selvi, and a very, very good afternoon to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. IMC Chamber of Commerce and Industry, under the aegis of its Navi Mumbai Committee, has initiated GST Pathshala to support members with timely guidance, expert insights, and practical assistance on GST-related matters. Since the inaugural session on 2nd July 2025, we have had 4 sessions of the GST Pathshala on evaluation of GST and future challenges, importance of input tax credit in GST, challenges for GST in the travel industry, and audit how to tackle and preparations thereof, which were very well received and appreciated for their interactive format and practical relevance. Today's 5th session is jointly organized with Bombay Stock Exchange Brokers Forum, who is one of our very long-standing members. And in fact, I would like to really thank Vispy ji and the entire team at Bombay Stock Exchange Brokers Forum, where we sort of had an initial meeting just a few weeks back, and we said, why don't we do a GST Pathshala specifically for stock exchange brokers? So here it is, our 5th session for the benefit of the trading community. We are confident that today's session will enlighten our stockbrokers community on GST related information in their sector. I now invite our Navi Mumbai Committee Chairman, Mr. Jayant Khadilkar, to give his welcome remarks and introduction of our esteemed speaker. Over to you, Khadilkar ji.
Thank you very much, DG. I've personally thank with sustaining efforts of our Mr. Natarajan ji, who has taken so much of pains to go through each and every aspect of it, because the volley of questions may be from the different directions on different subjects, and then he has to prepare in defense of many of the items. So I think he is doing the best of the job. The popularity is increasing day by day. I really thank Mr. Natarajan that it's a privilege for me to invite you all the time in Navi Mumbai Committee as well as this forum. And today's session is definitely very encouraging and invited one against Vispiji, where he is from the Bombay Stock Exchange. And for the benefit of many brokers and trading community, there are so many questions. I know that there are so many questions are in mind because of the recent changes in GST, probably how they could be related with this particular subject. But well, I think Mr. Natarajan has completely prepared with this new item, and it also has provoked for new subjects to design and coin for the next few sessions. And I believe that our audience and my fellow IMC members will definitely take this advantage of. Again, thank you on behalf of IMC, Bombay Stock Exchange, and Natarajan ji. Please take it forward.
Thank you, Jayanji and
So
Ajitji.
before you start, may I request Dr. Vispy Rusi Batina, Chief Executive Officer, Bombay Stock Exchange Brokers Forum, BBF, to kindly present the introductory address. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, Namaskar, distinguished guests and speakers and participants. On behalf of the Bombay Stock Exchange Brokers Forum, it gives me an immense pleasure to welcome all of you to this highly relevant session. Today, we focus on the evolving landscape of GST, its challenges, practical implications, and strategies that are important for businesses and professionals alike. At the outset, I would like to sincerely thank respected Chairman Jayant ji, Ajit ji, and the entire team of IMC for this collaborative initiative. This effort ensures that forums like this continue to empower and inform our community. We are truly honored to have with us respected Anand ji, whose rich experience and insights will guide us through GST evaluation, the significance of input credit, audit approaches, and the preparation necessary to navigate this dynamic regulatory environment. We encourage all participants to actively engage, ask questions, and fully benefit from this interactive sessions that follows. It is my privilege to invite Anand ji to share his expertise and wisdom to us. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Vispiji. Good evening, friends. My name is Anand Natarajan Kolangod. and I retired as an assistant commissioner from the Central GST Department in April 2024. Firstly, on behalf of the Indian Merchant Chamber, I welcome members of the Bombay Stock Exchange Brokers Forum and members of the IMC who are present here as well as on the hybrid mode to this session of GST, which I sincerely hope will be an interactive one. Because one-sided, if the speaker speaks, however interesting it is, there is bound to be a little bit of boredom. But when it happens to be a two-way communication, it becomes far more interesting. As Ajit Ji and Jayan Ji have already stressed, we have already done 4 sessions of the GST Pathshala workshops, and the feedback has come from IMC that it has been well received. So today in the 5th series, I'll be dwelling briefly. Now, all these subjects require minimum of 1 hour each. But then in the limited time that we have, I'll be dwelling upon briefly upon the evolution of GST, the challenges that is likely to face. Of course, the challenges are now going to be very less with the recent changes that the CBIC has proposed to make. And then I will talk about the importance of input credit mechanism, which is a very important factor in reducing the valuation of any product or service that is rendered. Thirdly, as you know, audit is going to be a part of your system. So when the authorities come, so how to be prepared for it and what are the audit procedures. So these 3 subjects I am going to dwell upon. And the 4th sector will be where we will handle your questions, maybe impromptu or maybe which has already come in the chat. Today, we are very fortunate to have 2 leading experts on the GST field, retired assistant commissioners Anand Rao and PL Andrews Ji. Of course, I'm not able to show you because it's a static camera. I welcome you both, gentlemen. I also welcome the people in here. Now, friends, per se, GST is a two-faced coin. On one side, we have the face of this government, which always is interested to augment revenue, be it when assessing your this one, or maybe by means of some litigation or recovery. So the one point agenda of the government is how to augment revenue, because you know revenue funnels the entire economy. And on the other side, we have taxpayers like you. Stockbrokers are a part of the taxpayer system. A worried lot always, because even though you have paid all the taxes on time, correctly, appropriate rate, the Damocles sword of unpaid taxes, maybe unintentionally or other errors, always dangles upon their head. But there is a twist here. In a coin, the 2 faces never meet each other. But in this 2-faced coin, the department and the taxpayer often interact. In fact, they complement each other's roles, and which has made the GST law very successful in modern India. You all may be aware that in many countries, the GST system is a failure. In fact, governments have been overthrown because of that. In 1 or 2 countries, it has been taken back. But in India, it has been very, very successful. If you don't believe it, by the end of the session, I will make you believe it. And I will prove that GST Act, the rules, is a win-win situation for both the government and the stakeholders. So I must take you back to the midnight of 30th June 2017, when in a historic session of both the houses of the parliament, this most important and most dynamic financial reform was introduced and passed unanimously. The basic reason was ease of business. If people have been doing business right in the pre-GST regime, you may remember that there were so many acts and rules, so many inspectors who would control your particular business. In stockbroking, probably not many inspectors. The ease of business concept took over, and a total of 17 central and state taxes have been subsumed together, and it was passed on that historic night. Now, to maintain the concept of ease of business, the Act and its rules have been repeatedly tweaked. Now, the general public at large or the general taxpayer at large always think, what is the need of so many notifications? Couldn't have they thought about it earlier? No. Whenever a new act comes, a nascent act always have teething problems. And whenever the trader or whenever the forums have indicated to the Central Board of Indirect Tax and Customs, the GST Council has risen to the occasion and tweaked the rule and act only for the benefit of the trade and not for itself. This I can vouch, ladies and gentlemen. So over the years, despite numerous challenges, I can say that GST has proven to be a resilient and transformative reform in India's indirect tax landscape. And what is the proof? The consistent and robust monthly tax collections stand testimony to this fact. I'm sure that you all are aware that now India ranks as the fourth largest economy in the world in terms of nominal GDP. And if the economy, especially after the rationalization of the tax and the procedural simplification that is proposed to be there, the tax rationalization from 22nd to September, and that will come maybe from 1st October or 1st November, the economy will continue to expand exponentially, consequently resulting in higher tax revenue. Maybe initially, the next 2-3 months, you may see a dip, but otherwise, it's going to rise exponentially. But is it so easy? You think everything is as soft as butter or cheesecake? No. There are challenges as well, and the government realizes it. As the economy scales up, the administration must introspect and evolve further to meet the dynamic needs of the trade. Now, there are a few points. It was always rationalization of taxes that has been done, so I will not dwell upon that. Streamlining of the registration process is yet to be done. Of course, there is a scheme which has been said that 3 days registration mil jayega, small taxpayers ke liye, but there is a condition in that they cannot pass more than 2.5 lakh of ITC every month. So how a trader is going to say that, I wouldn't know based on his earlier business, probably he will tell, but 3 days mein mil jayega. But other cases, there is an element of waiting, and taxpayers feel that there is harassment in the registration process. The government must certainly look into it. But whenever we meet government officials or even forums like IMC meets, the government always says that there are fraudulent registrants and notorious people who take advantage of the system. Now, this cannot go on. So the latest is that there is an integration of the recently developed GIS mapping tool with the GSTN registration module. And this is hoping that it will mitigate the issue of fraudulent registrations. The second point is there are blocked input tax credits, which is not, it is not logical, or I would say it is unreasonable. This is my personal opinion. When GST was brought in, it was to assure seamless input tax credit availment. That has not happened. Even in the recent rationalization, if you see, 2-3 services have been taxed at a lower rate but without input tax credit. So the government needs to introspect and either bring the block credits to zero level or at least minimize to the minimum such block credit so that the concept of seamless credit will always be there. Third thing is, there are some products outside the scope of GST. Many of the products and services have come under GST. Certain things have dual control, GST as well as central excise, that is tobacco, cigarettes, and all. 5 petroleum products: crude petroleum, petrol, diesel, aviation turbine fuel, and natural gas. These 5 products and liquor for human consumption are outside the ambit of GST. Forget liquor. Liquor will never come, and that is a subject which has been going on for so long. So let us talk about these 5 products. Not bringing them under GST means cascading of taxes. Excise duty, the taxpayer cannot take credit. So after discussions and deliberations, aviation turbine fuel and natural gas might come under the ambit or scope of GST. And if that happens, at least in those sectors, the tax cascading effect will be mitigated. Finally, it may not be relevant to the stockbroking sector, but the business to consumer segment remains a challenge for tax enforcement. It is here where the department has found that there is leakages in revenue. I will give you a small example. If you go to the market and buy for your household purpose, let us not take it for the company. If you buy a small tub or a small plastic, this one, if you go to the market, he will quote you a rate. And if you ask a bill, he will say sub GST lagega. Okay. That is not true. When the plastic granules come from all the big factory manufacturers, they have already paid GST. So where is the question of GST or bhi lagega? These B2C, it is found that products are sold to individuals who fear the imposition of GST in their bills. They bolte hain kacha bill de dijiye, and the bills are then given to the trade to avail ITC under a formula sharing, price sharing formula. So this is where it is hoped that a data-driven approach. Now there are so many AI tools that is helping the department. If you have seen 3 weeks back, the Bangalore GST has issued 6,500 notices to these Pani Puri walas and Bhel Puri walas. Now, how did they know that they have been earning so much of money? 50 lakhs, 60 lakhs that they have earned. Forget the cash component. This is all GPay and other methods. So, the AI tools have helped them, coordinating with the various agencies. So once the AI tools are used to the maximum, this particular thing will also mitigate. So these were the 2-3 challenges that I told you. So now we can say, especially with the recent rationalization of taxes and the simplifications of further procedures, we can say that the GST Act is more or less settled. This is evident from the fact that taxpayer satisfaction has improved. In a recent survey done by Deloitte, 84% of the respondents have expressed happiness with the GST system, which was 72% in 2023 and 59% in 2022. I can safely say and be proud to say that with the recent rationalization, the tweaks done by the department from time to time, and streamlining of procedures, the GST has evolved from being a Gabbar Singh tax to a great savings tax. I am sure all of you will agree with me. It is going to be savings from 22nd when you go out to the market and when you purchase your household items, especially food. Many of the food which are sold loose are already at 0%. Many were at 5%, and a lot of things were there in the 12% category. They have brought down to the 5% or either 0%. If they were 18%, they have been brought down to the 5%. So the savings which Flipkart and Amazon always do it from time to time, the government will definitely give you savings from 22nd September 2025. This was regarding the evolution of GST. We can go on how it evolved, what was it in its initial form, but time constraints force me to take a little bit of backseat. Now, input tax credit. As you all know, input tax credit effect comes in mitigating the tax cascading effort. I gave you the examples of two things. In the pre-GST regime, if you are a manufacturer or a trader, a manufacturer used to charge excise and VAT, and a trader used to charge VAT. Excise could be this way, and such money, they could take it as input tax credit, but the VAT was never available. So this is what the game changer, the GST Act is. GST was brought in to ensure seamless availment of ITC, input tax credit. I will now talk it as ITC. I agree that all sectors do not have seamless availment. I fully agree to that. But in the days to come, that too will be sorted out. But most of the businesses in India, when I say India, I do not talk only about when we say India, it means the taxable territory of India. And taxable territory of India is not just the Indian geography of India. It is 200 left, 200 right, 200 up, 200 down. So all kilometers we have to see. So that is the taxable area of India. So most of the business in India gets to avail ITC. This goes a long way in reducing the final pricing of the taxpayers. Ultimately, when you do your outward supply or do business, the factor is pricing. Of course, if you have a monopoly, then the pricing doesn't matter. Or if there is cartelization, the pricing doesn't matter. But if you're an individual business, pricing matters the most. If you are giving good service, if you are giving a good product, but pricing it very nice, your business is bound to succeed and your revenue will go up. To that, can you afford to paying taxes on your inputs and not getting input tax credit? No. That is why availment of ITC is available for you, which makes your goods or services. Today, it is only going to be services. Okay. Now, certain things about ITC. I know you must be doing it yourself or your staff must be doing it. But let me tell you, there are two things to be taken care of when you avail ITC, right? Everything is allowed to be taken. Just market, I am saying everything. Later on, I will come. No. Everything that you pay tax of GST, anything that you purchase for giving your service or selling your product, the ITC can be availed, subject to two factors. One is conditions. Only under certain conditions you are allowed to avail input tax credit. And what are those conditions? You must have a tax invoice. Okay? Now does that suffice? No. If you have a tax invoice, you must have received the product and the service. It is not just enough you have an invoice. The services or the goods accompanying the tax invoice has to be received by you. Third, does these two parameters suffice? No. You must have filed your return and paid the taxes of that particular month. And not only that, the bane is that your supplier should also have paid the taxes. So, of course, there are a lot of case laws or fightings going on that, but these are the four conditions. One more small condition is that whatever input tax credit you avail, please avail it by the 30th November of the succeeding year. If it is 2025-26, 31st March 2026 takka credit, you can take only on or before 30th November 2026. So these 4, 5 conditions is very easy. We assume, and I know that whoever is sitting in front of me are honest taxpayers. So these conditions are very easy to fulfill. वो लोग चकमा खाएंगे या डर जाएंगे जो बराबर बिजनेस नहीं करते हैं, and they are all outside this session. Okay. Second is, though I said you can take credits of each and everything on which you have paid tax on, there is something called block credits, which I mentioned during the evolution of GST portion. There are certain block credits, even if it is used for your business, even if it is in the course of your business, you cannot avail certain credits. For example, if as a proprietor or as a director of your stockbroking firm, you buy a nice Mercedes car, congratulations, advance congratulations for that. But no, you cannot take ITC related to that. If your friends come, you want to give your staff nice samosas, bhujiyas, a cold drink, and you order it from a restaurant, give your GST number, fine, but no GST can be availed. If the director of a firm is a lady, and as per the MOU drawn with the company, she is allowed to go to the beauty parlor 4 times a month, and they charge you 18%, and GST number of yours is there in the invoice, sorry, you cannot avail ITC of that. Similarly, there are many things which will not go. Mainly, stockbroking firms, I know you must be giving gold coins on Dhanteras Day to your staff. 3% GST you must have paid when you buy it from Tribhuvandas, Chaveri, or Vamanaripete. But unfortunately, sir, if you give it as a gift, you will not be able to avail ITC of that. So, however large-hearted your heart is, GST does not allow you to avail GST on certain products. Manufacturers know when something gets lost, destroyed, or pharmaceutical samples. If you go, the doctor gives you a sample. Those are things which are not charged. Mandatorily, they are not charged by the pharmaceutical industry, but no ITC is allowed on those. They have to reverse that. So these 2 conditions, if they are there, you can avail, if you have followed, you can avail ITC seamlessly. Okay. The latest returns allow you to take every sort of credit and reverse immediately down, so that the government knows what was not available to this particular taxpayer. But some people don't take it at the start, at the upper level itself. Now, I said that you can avail ITC subject to these 2 parameters. I am correct and I am wrong. Because there is one more thing that is called apportionment of credits. Now you would wonder, stockbroking may wonder, what is this apportionment of credit? Hamara to seedha jo bhi, whatever we charge to the customer, we are paying 18%, whatever advisory service we are paying, where there is no this apportionment of credits. But you must know this, because in future, I hope you do dual businesses. Apportionment of credit is coming when there is a non-business, when you use your product or service for non-business, when you use it for non-taxable products or services, this concept of apportionment comes. For example, if Mr. Abhishek Manu Sangvi who is a leading lawyer, has also a stockbroking firm, let us assume that he gives 2 services. The legal service that he offers, he need not pay tax. Though it is 18%, he need not pay tax. The recipient will pay, right? The company, for example, Reliance or Adani, to whom he gives, they will pay under the reverse charge mechanism. We will come to it later, and they will take the credit. But for the purpose of common inputs and services, this legal service becomes an exempted service only for this apportionment of credits. So whatever common is going on, common credit that Mr. Abhishek Manu Sangvi or his firm avails, they have to proportionately reverse the credit. For example, you must be wondering what? Your chartered accountant of that firm is going to be the same. The AMC to the computers and the air conditions must be the same. The security staff is going to be the same, is it not? So, whatever service is common, to the extent that these legal services have been rendered by Mr. Abhishek Manu Sangvi, that has to be proportionately reversed. So this also should be kept in mind, because stockbroking, generally you do all services which are taxable. So we will not dwell much upon this. If you have a question on this particular aspect, we will take it in the question and answer session. Now, one to one. Now, certain things I must say. I use the word non-business. Okay. Now, stockbroking, all you are doing is taxable services. There is no exemptions at all. Suppose you buy 8 ACs and you give the GST number and the stockbroking firm has paid it. Out of that 8 ACs, 2 ACs go to the residence of the managing director. Now, that is non-business. So, to the extent of the 2 ACs, the credit should be reversed. Why apportionment and why not blocked? Though it is a form of block credit, when the 8 ACs come, it comes under a single tax invoice. So you are eligible to take all the 8 ACs ka credit, and in the same return, while filing the GSTR 3B return, at the bottom, you will reverse this credit under Rule 42. Similarly, a stockbroking firm, you must be having a fantastic profit, and you must be buying a nice plot of land in Alibag near Deepika Padukone's bungalow. Now, for that land is outside the scope of GST. Now, if you have appointed an agent who charges you advisory charges at the 18%, that is not at all allowed. So that comes under apportionment of credits. So whatever goes into non-taxable and you are able to identify that on a one-to-one basis, though you have paid 1 lakh rupees commission with 18% GST, that 18% GST is not related. You cannot get it to your business because it is related to land which is outside the scope of this one. Suppose a stockbroking firm has a petrol station also under the same PAN. So obviously same GST registration number. Whatever is used in the petroleum, particular place will not be allowed, as well as common credits will be apportioned. So this is as far as apportion. So 3 small conditions that you need to observe when you avail input tax credit. Input tax credit, as I said, is available on each and everything. And even सामने वाला अगर wrong tax rate लगाता है, ladies and gentlemen, you are allowed to take credit of that. Suppose you purchase a shampoo after 22nd September 2025 and the retailer gives you an invoice with 18% GST. If you are in the shampoo business, then you are allowed to take that 18% and not the 12 or 5 for the 5% that is being charged now. So whatever is charged under the tax invoice, you can take credit. So that is the facility available, allowed to you, except for these 3 small conditions. When I say small, block credits are not small. It involves huge amounts of money, which the forums have been directly taking up with the GST Council, and it is proposed to be resolved soon. Now, coming to audit. Any honest taxpayer. Now, let me tell you, I do not know how many of you are aware GST is a act of cooperative federalism, by meaning the states and the center work together harmoniously and eke out the same tax rates. No state can charge more. Okay, some exemptions can be given. When a flood comes, the state government will refund to the taxpayer. That is a different thing. Otherwise, it's going to be the same tax rates. So when the tax rates are going to be one, why should there be a multiplicity of officers governing you? So your taxpayer, when you go to the GST portal and put your tax number, you will be knowing who is your officer, whether it is the state government or whether it is the central government, or if you are situated in a union territory, whether it's the union territory government. Okay, so only one officer governs you. And whenever I mean honest taxpayers, you are bound to face only two wings. There are three wings of the GST section. Let us forget the third wing because you are honest. The first wing is the assessment officer. When you file your returns on the front end, it goes to the back end of a particular officer who is your sector officer. Now he assesses it on a regular basis, and if there is any mismatch or anything, he will send you an SMT something, SMT 8 or something. Okay, that is going to be a regular thing. But if your unit or stockbroking firm is going to be picked up under the random pseudo technique by the systems and says that your records are to be audited, then there will be an audit wing which comes to you. My suggestion, I will give you tips how to tackle audit and all. So let us understand what is audit under GST. आपका तो internal audit होता होगा, आपका accountant खुद audit करता होगा on a weekly basis or whatever it is. But GST audit means it is the department process of examination of records, returns, and other documents maintained by you as a taxpayer. But that is only for a specific purpose, ladies and gentlemen. They cannot diverse and go anything, only for whether your turnover is correct, whether, see, the GST turnover and your P&L turnover or balance sheet turnover could be in variance because of various booking of incomes or certain incomes that you are not bound to show. For example, not bound to show and not pay GST. For example, if you have a petrol station also, obviously it will not match with the GST return. Okay, so the whatever turnover, whether it is correct, whatever rate of tax that you are paying, now with this 5% coming in, it's going to be where the litigation in that front is going to be zero. So whether you are paying the correct rate of tax, whether you are paying the correct tax, and whether there is a reverse charge mechanism, it could be applicable to you. I will come to that later. Whether RCM, you are paid the taxes to be paid under reverse charge mechanism, whether you are paying perfectly. These are some of the things, and mainly importantly, the input tax credit that you have availed, whether it is entitled, whether it is admissible, whether it is blocked, whether it is apportioned, that they will see. Thus, GST is not only the reconciliation of your records, but is an educative tool for taxpayers, which will help them to be more compliant with the law and procedure. Initially, you may be worried with audit, but with audit done, you will be very comfortable. You will know what the department through its officers think. So you will be ready, better prepared the next time the same officer or some other officer comes with the intimation, of course. So as I said in the first, this thing, there are records to be maintained, right? There are certain records you can maintain physically, you can maintain electronically. There are so many taxpayers, there are so many types of different taxpayers, but we assume that all my taxpayers are stockbrokers. Now there are certain things. You have to maintain a record of whatever input services or goods that you have received, whatever outward supply, whatever tax invoices that you have raised, that has to be properly seen. not only the records have to be maintained at the principal place of business, I'm sure a lot of you must be having an additional place of business. They may be having a place in the BSC exchange itself, or somewhere else, or Thana, or Andheri, wherever your businesses are there in a state of Maharashtra. Let's not go out of state, because out of state, another registration. So you have to maintain all the records pertaining to that premises place. The main office will have everything, that much I know. But if थाना में थोड़ा invoices टी करके आप issue करते हैं, तो वहाँ उसका record होना चाहिए. And what these records should show? They should show a true and correct account of, as I said, whatever avak and whatever javak, whatever input tax credit, monetization of the avak, whatever is there, monetization of the javak, output tax payable and paid, that is very important, and RCM, reverse charge mechanism, whether it is paid and payable or not. Now, mainly, as I said, the additional place of businesses should have the records pertaining to that premise. Electronically is okay. So if your server connects everything, absolutely fine. Now, there are certain sections which allow the audit officer to come to you with intimation. He has a choice either to do the audit at your place or a choice to call you. So my advice is, don't argue. If he calls, if you are in BSc, and of course, it is the आप लोग का ऑफिस स्टेट होगा तो मासगांव होगा, अगर सेंट्रल होगा तो आपका एयर इंडिया बिल्डिंग में अभी वहां से भी निकल रहे हैं, वहां होगा. So there is no problem, you can go, but don't argue. Suppose he says, आज आ जाइए, उसको बोलिए, if you are really not able to send your accountant, request them, they will do so, right? Again, my request to taxpayers is, because I have gone through this process as a departmental man, please don't argue, because the moment you argue, they have a different notion about your business and your particular premises. Now, how to be prepared? As I said, the first Moola mantra is adopt a cooperative attitude and not a confrontist one. Always get your accounts audited, because once a particular financial year या years के लिए हो गया, तो आपको उस बरस का चिंता चले गया. Bale, you have to keep the records for 72 months from the filing of your annual return. But still, no more problems of that era will come. If the officer has missed, it is gone forever. So be eager, not over eager, be eager to get your accounts audited. So I always say it is wise to get your accounts records audited, since the department cannot question you again on the same issue for the same period. For academic interest, if you are so interested, you can download it is in the public domain, the department's audit manual 2019. Why I am saying you download, you will know what the officer can do. You cannot, what the officer cannot do is very clear in that. There are certain set procedures. I will not talk about the third wing, which can do everything. But the second wing can call for records, that is all. And that too, these relating to these four. But every sort of record relating to this delivery challenge, whatever it is, they can call. Since you are stockbrokers, I'm sure there may be some note or something. Okay. The department will issue something called the ADT1. See, GST is a very, as I said, ease of business के लिए बनाया गया है. Very easy. If it is related to registration, everything will be, the abbreviation will be REG. If it is a return, it will be GSTR. So similarly, audit, it will be ADT 1214. So you will receive something called a ADT1, where the officer will introduce himself. He will say from which office is he coming, and he would like you to present some documents first. he will give you a 15-day notice. There is a particular document identification number on the left or right corner of that. This one, that is a must. And when you have it, you can go to the portal to check whether it has been issued by the said office, not officer. Whether it is a genuine letter sent to you, not like those cyber crimes जो आते हैं आपके customs department ने कुछ पकड़ लिया drugs, ऐसा नहीं. You can check that. And if you file something anomaly, you need not even reply. Okay. So once they will call you the documents, you cannot, again I repeat, you cannot refuse any document that they are asking. The law mandates it. If you are issuing an invoice and uska calculations अगर आप एक छोटा book में भी लिखते हैं, if they want it, they can see it. You cannot say that is not a, there is nothing called a statutory record now. Only mandatory records are there. आप कैसे भी format में करो, electronically or manually, as I said. It should contain the details that the department wants. So please don't refuse unless it is out of the something he is asking. Sorry. So the manual will help you. What can he ask for? Immediately once you receive your ADT1, contact your consultant if you have one, CA, for assistance. Don't prepare the reply and send it directly. Ask your consultant, CA, for assistance, and if necessary, maybe once appoint a GST specialist to just go through your record so that he can anything miss out. See, CAs, they have been into the line of VAT and income tax, and GST is a nascent subject for them. Whereas the GST specialists have been trained in every way. They may be mostly retired officers, so they know the in and outs of the department, what the department officers will find out. So if possible, if affordable, please appoint a GST specialist for that particular one time or entirely during the audit. That is up to you. First time, sir, send a senior man along with the CA to the audit office. The audit officer is a central government employee or a state government employee. So when he sees that a taxpayer is coming forward with a responsible officer, it satiates his ego. And that is very important. When you satiate his ego, half the audit is done. Believe me, half the audit is done. He will say, "Arey, responsible आदमी आया, this definitely कुछ भी नहीं है इनके records में, कुछ भी मेरे को नहीं मिलने वाला है, थोड़ा unintentional मिल सकता है." So if possible, if you are a proprietor, please go yourself, take the CA along, meet him, hello, because that also gives you a very novel opportunity of having a cup of tea at the government's expense. That is very rare. A government tea, badi baat hai. You go, and nowadays offices are beautiful, lovely, air-conditioned offices. State Mazgaon वैसा ही है सर, लेकिन बाकी सब जगह इतना beautiful offices है. The latest techniques, AI tools that they have, it is wonderful to go and sit. Okay, sir. And visits during the audit or consequent to the audit can well be handled by your consultant and GST. There is no this one. Now, the audit team will be led by a superintendent level or 2 or 3 superintendents and a couple of inspectors, depending upon your turnover. Now, sir, when they say that they are coming to your premises, there is no need that you have to send a car to them to pick them up from Air India building to bring them to your office. There is no need to give them lunch or anything. Why I am telling this? In the pre-regime, it was a must. You have to give a premise, you have to give a car, everything. Nowadays, you give them a simple space to sit and where they can see their records. Of course, Indians to visitors are God for us. We will give tea or biscuits, that is for sure. That I don't deny, don't do, definitely do. But there is no necessity that you must offer them anything. Offer them courtesy, offer them a good place to sit, and see that you have one person attending to them. Whenever they need something, he can stand outside or sit inside with them. And suppose they say, "Sab, ye return, ye leke aao, ye mahine ka ye leke aao, ye balance sheet le aao." So immediately that gives a good picture about your company. Many a times it has been observed that one fellow will go, हाँ मैं लेके आता हूँ, and 2 hours he will not come. He will say, साहब मेरा dispatch था, साहब मेरा 10 transactions उधर चल रहा था, साहब ने मेरे को बुलाया, साहब ने घर भेजा बाजी लेके, तो I couldn't come and meet you. तो ऐसा मत कीजिए, because audit is going to be only for a couple of days, or if you have got a tremendous business, which I'm sure all of you are having, crores of business, maybe 4 times, 2 times there, 2 times. There is no bar in how many times they will visit. There is no bar that they cannot call you number of times, except to the point of harassment. See, that is always this one, Lakshman Rekha for everything. Okay. Particular during the course of audit, if you are sitting with them or if your manager is sitting with them, please don't be over enthusiastic. Don't tell them secrets which they do not know. Don't tell them हमारा ऐसा चलता है वैसा चलता है, whatever it is. I'm saying properly, जो भी है वो मत बताइए. Whatever he asks or she asks, give it to him. Suppose if the audit is for 24-25 और उसने एक पॉइंट लिया नहीं, तो योर मैन शुड नॉट से सब ये तो बराबर है, लेकिन पहला वाला ऑफिसर ये निकाला था, वो तो आपने देखा ही नहीं. लेट अस नॉट बी ओवर एंथुसियास्टिक. यू आर अ हॉनेस्ट टैक्स पेयर. लेट अस बी enthusiastic. And why I am saying don't be rude or don't be confrontationist, because there are various sections. For flimsy reasons, they can impose a penalty of 1 lakh. 25 under the CGST, 25 under the SGST, and 50 under the IGST Act. Don't give them any room for imposing such penalties. If your records are clean, everything is perfect, they will not even bother. They will be happy to issue a nil report. Mainly, why I am saying there are many enthusiastic persons who, चलो ये भी नहीं बताया, बहुत स्मार्ट है लेकिन बताया नहीं, लेकिन कुछ थोड़ा मोर है. सपोज ही सेज अरे यार सेक्शन ये है, द ऑफिसर सेज दिस है. नहीं साहब, वो तो अमेंड हुआ, ये तो इवन इट इज अमेंडेड, डोंट नो, डोंट टेल हिम दैट यू नो अबाउट इट. ठीक है सर. व्हाई? बिकॉज देयर आर सर्टेन थिंग्स व्हिच यू मे नॉट हैव डन, like displaying the GSTIN outside your office premises. That many people still do. But displaying the registration certificate at a prominent place in your office. Now for you, this may be a prominent place. He will say, no sir, वो security आपका बैठता है ना बाहर, जो thumb impression में अंदर छोड़ता है हमको, वो that is a prominent place. So don't get into this. Don't give them a chance. And especially it is noticed that additional place of business में display नहीं होता है. Please don't do that. अब वहां भी एक स्टिकर लगा दीजिए आपका GSTN का और आपका सर्टिफिकेट का अंदर एनी प्रोमिनेंट प्लेस. वो तो अपन कभी भी फाइट कर सकते हैं उनसे, राइट? Don't ever erase, efface or overwrite your books. There may be many occasions. अभी भी recent 2 दिन पहले legal and metrology has said you can reduce or increase your MRP, but जूना वाला को निकालो मत. Don't overwrite on that. So this is one of the, it is mandated in the act that you cannot erase, efface or overwrite. है ना? Suppose you are good to them, they will all ignore such things. Otherwise they can very well put you. Generally आप लोग का तो सर C+S होगा, तो 50,000 तो पेनल्टी लगा देगा सर. इसीलिए I am saying that be very nice to them. Don't be rude, especially sensitize your officer who is going to deal with them. कि जो भी पूछो सुन के लेना भैया. As I said, no, only basic courtesy should be given. A place to conduct the audit, personnel to handle queries during the audit, water and stationery. There are many a times when the taxpayer says stationery तो आपको लाना चाहिए था ना, notepad वगैरह. ये क्या हम लोग बैठे हैं क्या? No sir, that costs you 10 rupees. Give it to him with a nice pen. You'll be very happy and take that pen. That gives a very good picture of your, I'm telling you, whenever audit or whom was already experienced, you will vouch for it. भाई उनको ये सब है, However rich a man, let me tell you, however rich you are, suppose you get something free, you are very happy or not? Yes or no? Yes. You're very happy about that, everything. Suppose आप लाल बाग चा राजा जाते हैं, अम्बानी साहब जाते हैं, नमस्कार करते हैं, उनको एक बास्केट दिया जाता है, लेकिन एक पंडित आके लड्डू दिया तो उनके मुंह पे बहुत खुशी होती है सर. कोई एक्स्ट्रा, that we should do it. And once the observations made by the audit, they will also come to you in form of a letter which will carry the identification number. You can either agree or disagree, right? So when you agree to the points, please pay it. The tax, interest if any, interest is 99% it is not there, because you may be having balance in your इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट लेजर. ओके, बट पेनाल्टी अगर वो बोलता है कि कोई इंटेंशन नहीं था तो पेनाल्टी भी छूट जाएगा. अगर ऑडिट के समय ही आप भर देते हैं तो टैक्स का एलिमेंट जो है, व्हेन यू एग्री यू पे इट ऑफ. एंड इफ योर स्टाफ इज डीलिंग विद द ऑडिट ऑफिसर्स and that particular letter comes, tell him that he must show the proprietor, director, partner, and then only agree or disagree to the points. Probably for him, he must be an expert in GST. He will tell, ye to bharna hi hai. Whereas the director must have realized, nahi, ye aisa ek notification aaya tha, nahi bharna hai mere ko. ठीक है sir. So please tell them that they have to show it to you. So as I said, when you agree, please pay off the taxes. Where you disagree, give it in writing. Tell them, don't tell them to issue a notice. If you have solid evidences, present evidences, and last line should be, please close the para, in a very polite language. Some people write, please close the para, which should not have been taken in the first place, and you have not used your mind. Such letters should be avoided. If you disagree also, very politely you say, we disagree with this. If you are having case laws, if you are having judgments, High Court, Supreme Court, or tribunal judgments, of course, GST is yet to function, or appellate orders, or some advance rulings, please quote it to them and disagree on that. Once it is done, suppose 8.2 you have agreed and you have paid and given them the letter, the tax officer will ask you, the auditor will ask you for a confirmatory letter stating that, sir, you agree to these 2 points, you do not agree to these points, and whatever you have agreed and taxes you have paid, you cannot take refund. ऐसा एक लेटर लेता था, फिलहाल तो आप दे दीजिए सब. That has got no bearing. Later, if you want to take refund, if there are some Supreme Court judgments and you want to take refund, that will not have a bearing on this particular, this one, that you, the fact that you have given the letter. But they require that letter, and then they will issue a closure report called ADT2. This ADT1 ka copy, take a couple of copies and maintain 1 or 2 files. And AD2 का भी 2-3 फाइल में, because it is seen कि मेन फाइल जब आता है ऑडिटर तभी मिलेगा नहीं, फॉर द नेक्स्ट ईयर वो मिलेगा नहीं. तो 2-3 फाइल आप बना के रखिए. क्या होने वाला है, एक फोल्डर आजकल 18 रुपया 20 रुपया में मिल जाता है. आप लोग बढ़िया सा उसको मेंटेन कीजिए, कीप इट इन द डायरेक्टर्स कैबिन. ठीक है. So this is, and most importantly, if he has called you to the office, his office, and he has told you to submit an original records, पहले तो आप avoid कीजिए. You can give a photocopy. Okay. Suppose by chance you have given originals also, you can immediately after 82 letter, you can give them a letter, and immediately within 15 days they have returned. They have to return, even if photocopies are there. Points that you disagree, they will give you back the originals, but not the photocopies. Right? So this is how you need to tackle audit and audit officers. Tackling audit is easier. Audit officers is not. The auditor, whether it's a central government officer or a state government officer, thinks a bit high of himself. Even though he may not be knowing the rules, acts, and the regulations, but he always feels that he is a jnani. So let him be. Okay. So this is how we need to, now we can take questions, and even then if there are no questions, then I will assume that whatever I have taught is absolutely fantastic. or whatever I have taught, you have not understood at all. Okay. So let us go to the questions. Otherwise, there are so many interesting things for the next half an hour or next 20 minutes that I can regale you with. So, Selvi ji, please go ahead.
Sir, no questions.
There are no questions, right?
No, no.
I got question, Selvi.
We will take it up later, sir, because this is related to stockbroking. Unless you're a stockbroker, I have no problem.
No, only general audit.
Yeah, tell me, sir. Tell me.
Only, see, the audit we are talking about in general, what is the frequency? Is it related to the industry? It is related to the profession, or is it related to the some kind of trading?
See, there are certain parameters that the government has devised, both the state and the central. They have devised the system. Suppose you may be a very honest taxpayer, but the input tax credit is very high. So the system flags it as a red flag. Suppose you have too many imports, it flags it. Suppose you have imports, see, I'm talking to a general taxpayer, not a stockbroker. Suppose you have imports of say 2 crores tax involvement, but take credit of only 1.8 crores, it flags. Because it doubts whether that 0.20 lakhs goods have been diverted to the market without being sold. Okay, so there are certain parameters. For example, manufacturer में अगर e-way bills एक ही consignment के लिए बार बार आ रही है, तो then it flags off. But the periodicity is, sir, it is generally seen that once you are audited, it comes every year. Okay. Now the state has devised a very good way of auditing only 1 year at a time. The central does 5 years at a time. So state का आपको अगर आप assigned हो तो बार बार आपको आ सकता है audit, whereas the central का एक बार 5 years में आ जाएगा और उसके बाद हर साल आएगा. So this is parameters. So 90% of the taxpayers may not be audited at all. See, it has got इतना crores में भी करने का, इतना crores का turnover भी करना है, छोटा turnover भी करना है. जहां जहां छोटा turnover है, वहां वो industry specific करते हैं. Okay, वो जहां जहां exemptions है, then it flags. Wherever your GSTR 1 shows exempted sales, non-GST sales, it gets automatically flagged कि really ये non-GST sales है या exempted sales है. So in stockbrokers, I assume that a very minuscule percentage of stockbrokers will be taken for audit. So a certain, let me see.
So one question
Yes.
has come.
Yeah, please.
I'll take it up.
Yeah, please.
This is Akash Shah from Asian Broking Pune. Question: in case of SLB, GST is to be paid on RCM on proprietary trades. Can the same be claimed and set off against other taxable income, brokerage rent, etc.? In case of client borrowing stocks, who is liable to pay GST on the borrowing value? Is the broker supposed to charge the same to the clients, or is the client supposed to pay on RCM basis? And the
What
third
is
one
that,
is since
SLB, what is it? The
first one is in case of SLB, GST.
What is SLB?
Mr. Akash, can you just give me what is SLB?
Stock loan broking?
Stock lending mechanism.
Stock lending mechanism.
Yeah. So
See, for the RCM component, sir, there is only one notification as far as these services are concerned. It is 13/2017. And as far as I know, because I went through it today morning, such a system is not an RCM basis. So if at all there is a consideration for that and it becomes part of your income, then it will have to be on forward charge mechanism only. Because as far as stockbroking services, I couldn't see anything being exempted. All the considerations have to be taken. So it will be on forward charge mechanism, sir. But if you have something more to it, then you can DM me, sir. and I will answer if you have something more to it, I said. Otherwise, there is no reverse charge mechanism, at least, for anything that you, the service that you give it to the your client.
So the
Akash, if
next
you want
in
to
that
say
is,
anything on that?
yeah, the next one in that is in case
And
of
has Akash, 1 minute, Selviji,
yeah,
has
yeah.
Akash got to say anything more on that?
Okay, can you please share your details so we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
DM you?
Definitely, definitely. Selvi or Anilji will definitely
Yeah.
DM you
Yeah.
my number, and we can always talk, and my email ID.
So
Tell
I
me.
can take the next one.
Yeah,
His
please.
next question is, in case of client borrowing stocks, who is liable to pay the GST on the borrowing value? Is the broker supposed to charge the same to the clients, or is it the client supposed to pay on RCM basis?
Now, this was the same question. Now I would like to know, since the question has come again. Now, can you explain the mechanism of this? How does it? How does this stock lending happen, and who gives him the money for that? The client.
Mm,
What is
uh,
this mechanism?
Mr. Akashji, can you just
He said he cannot unmute it.
That's they
yeah, I
unmute
have
them
unmuted him.
centrally.
I have unmuted him, so he can only directly ask the question. Yeah, Mr. Akash. Yeah.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, we are not able to hear you. You are unmute from our end.
Okay, we will take it on a particular DM basis. You can share this one. Definitely, we will sort it out, because I do not know the mechanism which goes into it. If I know how the consideration flows, then I will be able to tell you that who has given the service. Because for taxability, a supply has to be there. I am talking service because you are giving only service supply. So supply जब तक नहीं होता है, तो I will not be able to tell you whether it's a supply or not, supply by whom. Okay, so we will definitely, I will answer your query on a one-to-one basis, sir.
Sir, there is a third part to the question. Since GST, no, okay, he said just leave it. Okay, the next question comes, we are a stock broker. The delayed payment charges, which are for services, are levied on clients for margin shortfall. Will GST be applicable on it or not?
Definitely it will be
She's from
applicable.
Indira Securities.
Section 15, if you go, it says everything has to be accounted for except the GST component. For example, we are sitting in an area surrounded by APMC, Agricultural Produce Marketing Committee, which charges a cess, even that cess. So similarly, in your case, if it is in the form of an interest, then it will not be included. If it is in the form of DPC, delayed payment charges, that forms a value that is consideration, additional consideration to the supply that you have done, and definitely it is to be taxed at the given rate, that is 18% at present.
Sir, no more questions. Thank you.
Yeah, now since we have 20 minutes, I will tell you some tips how to navigate or how to understand GST. Okay. All through these years, you have gone through the papers, Gabbar Singh tax, draconian tax. It is not so, because certain steps or measures are not taken either by an individual or by the director or the partner. So what I give you some tips is, sir, as a owner, partner, or managing director or manager, please take interest in learning the act and its rules, maybe one at a time, one rule at a time. At least basic value like basics like your value, your whatever brokerage that your clerk is charging is correct. Of course, nowadays software is there, but जो शेयर बेचते हैं उसके ऊपर या खरीदते हैं उसके ऊपर आ जाता है, no doubt. Whether input credit क्या क्या अपने को मिलना चाहिए. So when you take interest, you will also know, अरे ये तो हमने लिया ही नहीं, ये लेना बनता था, हमने किटली लिया है ऑफिस के लिए, वो किटली मेरे स्टाफ को पानी गर्म करके देता हूँ, तो वो लोग अच्छा काम करते हैं, तो definitely it is allowed. So certain things you should know about the input tax credit, and especially since you are service providers, the SSC in yours is very clear. It is, as you know, all services are under chapter 99. ठीक है, 98 तक गुड्स है, 99 आपके ऊपर आता है, तो 99, 71, 52 is your SSC, which is very important. So you can just see, I am talking of only broking services. If you are doing advisory services, or last का digit will change. तो वो आप देख लीजिए कि क्या मेरा क्लर्क, क्या मेरा मैनेजर सही कर रहा है. एक बार आप देख लेंगे तो उसमें आपको पता चलेगा that your staff is doing very good. Know the timelines of the GST returns, sir. It is very easy. It comes in the papers also. Google भी कर देंगे. As a head, on 11 तारीख को आप पूछिए आपके स्टाफ को, भाई तुमने GSTR 1 भर दिया कि नहीं? She will be shocked or he will be shocked. अरे साहब को ये भी मालूम है. Don't let the timelines be controlled by them. You must know the timelines. Basic advice: don't be over dependent on your chartered accountant or consultant. They may not be always right. Suppose there is a doubt in your mind and you ask the chartered accountant or a consultant or Anand Natarajan and he or she gives an answer, don't blindly follow it. देखिए बराबर है क्या? You can Google it. Every answer will come to you. ठीक है sir? There are so many books also available. I don't want you to buy books because they are all thousands of rupees. I don't want you to do that.
So one more question.
हाँ लाइए.
This is from Mr. Irfan Mujawar. A small question from broking perspective. While rendering any service to any client which is based on Gift City, Gandhinagar, Gujarat, client is coming up with request of no GST for all the contract note issue for cash equity and F&O services. Is it allowed as broking entity based on Mumbai, Maharashtra?
When you are doing it to Gift City, no, obviously at present you must be levying IGST. Yes or no? What is the answer?
Irfan ji?
ठीक है, he is levying GST as far as I know. See,
Yes,
anybody, any organization that says that you need not impose or charge me GST has to give you an authority. Okay. There may be end-based exemptions. I am certainly sure that Gift City को ऐसा कुछ exemption नहीं है because stock broking का मैंने काफी research किया है. So let him give an authority stating that there is no no GST on the operations. Though two categories of cash equities and F&O, something you said. Once that comes to you, sir, get in touch with the books or get in touch with the consultant and he will say whether the notification is in force or was it for a limited period or no, or is it still valid. Only then, if you are sure, then you do that and you can abstain from charging GST. Suppose you are not sure, I am saying you please draw an agreement or a document with them saying that as far as the taxability is concerned, as per your directions, instructions, we are not charging GST. However, as and when the department claims, the responsibility or whatever the liability will be on your side. So that can be done because when a person from a GST Gift City says he could be having some authority or some advance ruling. Advance ruling सब वगैरह रहेगा तो नहीं है sir. Authority means that should be a notification or a circular of the government. Only when the CBIC or the Maharashtra, or your government or the Gujarat government has issued it, in case because Gift City is in Ahmedabad, you can take these two, not some advance rulings which has been done by another company. वो आपके लिए लागू नहीं है सर. और advance ruling correct होगा करके कोई भरोसा नहीं है सर. इसीलिए don't risk revenue loss to the government. Tell him that we are in the stage of taking written opinions from our legal team As and when it is there, we will not charge, or जो भी अब तक charge किया, we will issue a credit note, because you can always adjust it towards tax liability of the future. That is no problem at all. So my advice would be that. But if there is an authoritative circular from the CBIC or the GST, of course, circulars and notifications can be issued by CBIC. GST Council has nothing to do with that. Or if there is a press release also, ज़्यादा आप भरोसा मत कीजिए. Press release एक टाइप करता है, एक ऑर्डिनरी आदमी करता है, और बड़े ऑफिसर्स लोग कभी कभी देखने में मिस्टेक करते हैं. I can give you examples. We do not have the time, but glaring examples have been brought about. Okay, so any circular or notification of the CBIC, definitely you can go ahead. Otherwise, you must be polite to say we are not getting any orders or authoritative circulars to that effect. This would be my answer. Any other question?
Yes. If we are doing proprietor trading in stock market, then what will be the treatment of ITC? Vimlesh.
Come again, because the law does not have any special treatments for proprietor or LLP or any company. It's a taxpayer. A taxpayer, whoever is registered, is God for the department. It doesn't see whether he is a small scale fellow or whether he is MSME fellow, whether he is Bombay Town. No, sir. So आपका क्या क्वेश्चन है? अगर आप elaborate करते हैं, कोई एग्जांपल देके, तो मैं I'll be happy to answer, sir. क्या था आपका क्वेश्चन? As a proprietor, you are entitled to everything, I said, except that certain things that I told you. आपके इसमें स्टॉक ब्रोकिंग में क्या होगा? अगर आपने दूसरा सर्विस लिया है दूसरा किसी से, तो वो होगा एएमसी होगा, कंप्यूटर का होगा, रेंटेड प्रीमाइसेस है तो रेंट का होगा. हाँ, आप पानी लेते हैं तो होगा. आई एम टेलिंग यू, फूड एंड बेवरेज इज नॉट अलाउड. वाटर क्रेडिट you can take. Always use the language used by the government to your advantage. If you go to the Google, water is not a beverage. So food and beverage, nobody takes it, I know, but food and beverage आप नहीं ले सकते हैं, water भी ले सकते हैं, water का can का भी ले, everything you can take. So everything जो बड़े कंपनियों को, let us take अदानी सर, अंबानी सर, वो जो कंपनियों को अलाउड है, सर आपको भी अलाउड है. Only thing is it should have nexus to your business, or it should be used in the course of your business or furtherance of business. ये 3 लाइन मैं भूल गया बोलने के लिए. Whatever you use in furtherance of your business or during the course of your business, you are allowed to take ITC except the certain items which I have already pointed out, and some more are there, which is inconsequential for your industry.
Sir, Mr. Abhishek would like to ask a question. Yes, Mr. Abhishek, please unmute yourselves.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yes. Hello, sir.
Can
Hello,
you be a little bit louder?
yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Can you hear my voice,
Yes,
ma'am?
yes.
Yes. This question is related to my this non-business. Suppose our firm is buying some gold coin for our dealers or for a sales promotion. So it will come under sales promotion or it will go for a non-business. So we are eligible for take a input or not? Because there is some little bit difference between sales promotion and a non-input entity. So can you elaborate, sir, on this thing?
You have answered your question yourself.
Okay.
See, play on the vocabulary. Don't say that you are giving gifts to your whoever client is there. Okay. If you are giving it as a sales promotion, definitely it has got nexus to your business and you can take the credit. Employees का इसीलिए मैंने एग्जांपल लिया. मैंने जो क्लाइंट्स या आप कुछ सेमिनार करते हैं वहां कुछ देते हैं, तो let the term gifts not be used.
Okay.
You are giving t-shirts for suppose a stockbroking firm organizes a stockbrokers run marathon. also inviting members of the public, including Honorable Assistant Commissioner Anand Natarajan. And when I come there, you give me a nice T-shirt. That's sales promotion. Because when I wear the T-shirt, तो आपका logo होगा, emblem होगा. So definitely you will get credit, madam. You answered your question very well.
Thank you so much. And one more question, sir, there is.
Please go ahead.
Regarding, suppose if I'm taking some goods for our company, suppose any AC or something, so it will come under this fixed asset, or the thing is that if we can take or not input.
See, when you talk about the term fixed asset, that is the domain of the income tax, and there your CA will guide you. Suppose you want to capitalize it and take depreciation, then obviously. Whenever you use as a revenue expenditure, if you now, since you come to the point, and I thought it would be inconsequential, but it is consequential. When you buy an AC and you take it as a revenue expenditure, you can straight away take the credit. There is no problem. But when you capitalize it, you have to show it as an equipment used for your business. Suppose 8 clerks are sitting, 2 managers are sitting, and you are buying 11 ACs. 10 ACs तो clear cut है, अच्छा वातावरण देंगे तो वो लोग अच्छा काम करेंगे, दिमाग ठंडा रहेगा तो credit है. But one is used for your director. There is an ante room where there is a time available to him, and he goes to see some Google देखने के लिए या cricket match देखने के लिए छोटा सा room में जाता है. Even though the premises is there, it is not business. So that one air conditioner, you cannot take the credit. This I am telling you on a one-to-one basis. Neither the auditor will object, even if you take the credit, itna jayega nahi ho. But I am telling you what is the meaning of non-business and business. I told you घर पे, even अगर वहां पे IPL के शौकीन है आपके मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर और एक छोटा सा एंटे रूम है जहां कोई नहीं आ सकता है और वो खाली IPL देखते हैं, उस रूम में जो टीवी लेते हैं और जो एयर कंडीशनर बिठाया है उसको नहीं मिलेगा मैडम.
Thank you so much, sir.
My pleasure.
Sir, next question comes from the name is not.
I'm surprised that nobody is asking questions about the rationalization of taxes, the significant financial reforms that the Honorable Prime Minister and the Honorable Finance Minister have announced, because everything. I'm very happy that you people have understood. और आपको मालूम है वाइफ को या स्पाउस को कम देना पड़ेगा खर्ची, because जो फूड आइटम्स में उसमें कम हुआ है, बटर घी चीज सब में कम हुआ है, लेकिन significant reforms आया है उसमें. Food को straight away 5% बनाना. For example, people who have a habit of eating expensive dry fruits, really you will see the difference. So I'm surprised that questions didn't come, but I assume that you have all understood, you're all enlightened, and I'm so happy about it. Now, please tell me the question.
Yeah, the question is, if we are doing only for own trading in stock market, then GST input credit claim, exchange charges input claim हो सकता है क्या?
Own trading में आप खुद पे इनवॉइस करते हैं, खुद पे इनवॉइस, सेल्फ सर्विस पे आप इनवॉइस रेज करते हैं मैडम, जो भी क्वेश्चन पूछा है.
Yes.
सेल्फ ट्रेडिंग.
हाँ, एक्सचेंज चार्जेस इनपुट क्लेम के लिए.
No. आप जो करते हैं सेल्फ ट्रेडिंग, उसमें खाली शेयर्स और डेरिवेटिव जो भी है, डेरिवेटिव एफ&ओज का पैसा भरते हैं ना. आपको इस सर्विस चार्जेस तो आप चार्ज नहीं करते हैं ना खुद के कंपनी पे.
GST not showing any changes. I don't know. It is totally.
On this, there is a concept about, very good that you asked, and I have got 5 more. I have got a lot of time, but the IMC has got only 5 minutes.
Yes.
See, for anything to become a taxable supply, there are 5 to 6 parameters. Okay.
Yes,
It buys
yes,
for
yes,
itself
yes.
in the same name. So there is
Yeah.
no invoice.
No invoice.
For then how expectation of ITC will be there? Whatever that you pay to the exchanges, it a cost to the company.
Sir, the next question is from Vimalesh.
नहीं,
What
नहीं,
is
उसमें I have not yet fully
Acha,
answered.
acha, okay, sorry.
Suppose your director or manager doesn't have the time for self-trading and they have allotted an expert to do that for them. He will charge you advisory charges 18%. That also cannot be claimed. So, anything that is subject to 0% of tax, anything that is exempted by way of some other notification, anything there is not a supply not under the scope of GST, and everything that is not a supply at all, these are all exempted. So when self-trading of self-service there is no consideration, it is not a supply at all. Apportionment पे ध्यान रहे.
The last question is
Haan ji.
what is the impact of proprietary pro trading by a stockbroker on GST liability and input tax credit reversal requirements?
The same दो पहले वाला क्वेश्चन का एक्सटेंशन है वो.
हाँ
हाँ तो वही है
नहीं
ना.
नहीं ये अलग है ये अलग
नहीं
है.
नहीं अलग होगा.
हाँ.
So what is the mechanism? Pro trading माने क्या? Any for themselves they are doing it?
A proprietary trading they have written in bracket pro
नहीं, proprietary trading माने वो तो
by a
charge
stockbroker.
commission charge करता ही है ना. Proprietary trading, are they purchasing for themselves? What is it?
Yes, self trading.
Self trading तो same है. Yes, your validity is apportionment आएगा. Definitely आएगा, apportionment आएगा. But don't even if unintentionally, if it is negligible, आप नहीं करेंगे तो भी ये point आपको audit में शायद आएगा नहीं, मैडम. Or if it is a man, he. तो लेकिन it is advisable proportional credit to that particular value. You can reverse it. You should reverse it.
Thank you, sir. I will now request Mr. Yunus Qureshi, Head Finance and Operations, Bombay Stock Exchange Brokers Forum, to kindly present the vote of thanks. Over to you, Mr. Yunus Qureshi.
Hi, thank you so much.
Yunus, before
yes,
you
sir.
begin, be very frank.
Sir,
The feedback should be very. Vote of thanks is a very important thing where you can give galis to the speaker.
no,
To
sir.
the
See, sir,
organization
I'll be
or
very honest. I'll be very honest.
So be very be candid.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
So, see, first of all the topics, especially the input tax credit mechanism and the RCM, which is known as this reverse charge mechanism, it was very important for all of us to understand carefully and implement carefully to be aware and basically comply with all the GST requirements. So, thank you so much. As I am also heading the finance department also of BBF, so I am very well aware how important is to understand about the input tax credit and this RCM and particular and all the other particulars. So thank you so much, sir, for your thoughtful insights and everything. I hope all of our members and everyone understood very well, and they can reach out to you, of course, with their queries if they want to understand one-on-one basis. So thank you very much, and we would like to thank all the IMC team, especially the Mr. Jayant Kandilkar, Chairman of the IMC Navi Mumbai Experts Committee, of the warm welcome and for playing a pivotal role in the bringing this session together. And all the other team of IMC, we would like to thank and we appreciate everyone, and we hope the session added real value to our understanding GST, and that will carry forward in our insights shared today into our professional practices, especially for our stockbrokers. Thank you once again. We look forward seeing you at our future events as well. So thank you. So thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
everyone. Thank you very, very much.
Yeah, more of this kind of events are still welcome from
Sure,
Bombay
sir.
Stock Exchange.
We look forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.